Start.
This is humerus or arm bone. We will know the side determination of which side it belongs to, whether right or left. So the end having the globular head should be superior. So this is superior and this is inferior. Even this globular head should face medially. So this is medial and that is lateral. Okay. Now the intertubercular sulcus in between the two tubercle at the upper ring, intertubercular sulcus should face anteriorly. So this is anterior and here is the posterior. So this is of right side, right humerus. Now coming to surface feature and attachment. Like any other long bone, it has got upper end, lower end and intervening shaft. First coming to upper end. It has got head, 3 neck and 2 tubercle, 1 intertubercular sulcus. First coming to head. It is globular. It is covered with the hyaline cartilage. It articulates with the glenoid cavity of scapula to form the ball and socket variety of synovial joint. That is the glenohumeral joint or shoulder joint. This is greater tubercle. Obviously greater in size than this. So greater tubercle. It has got 3 impression. Superior impression, middle impression and the inferior impression. Here the sit muscle sits here. Sit muscle, that is as for supraspinatus, I for infraspinatus and T for teres minor muscle. So sit muscle sits here. Supraspinatus on the superior impression. The infraspinatus on the middle impression, middle but posteriorly. Okay. And T for teres minor on the lowermost impression, but on the posterior aspect. They are on the posterior aspect. These impressions on the superior and the posterior aspect, not on the anterior. Okay. And these are the muscles. Now coming to lesser tubercle. Lesser means less. And the sub, word sub, S-U-B, sub, also hold the same meaning. That is less. So it gives a hint that here is the attachment of subscapularis muscle. On the lesser tubercle, there is attachment of subscapularis muscle. And in between these two tubercles, this is intertubercular sulcus or bicipital groove. It has got the lateral lip on the lateral side, medial lip on the medial side and 1 floor. On the lateral lip, there is attachment of pectoralis major muscle. On the medial lip, there is attachment of teres major muscle. And on the floor, there is attachment of latissimus dorsi muscle. That's why the mnemonic comes lady between 2 major. That is the latissimus dorsi in between the pectoralis major laterally and the teres major medially. This sulcus convert into a tunnel by the transverse humeral ligament. In between these two tubercles, there is a ligament, that is transverse humeral ligament, which convert this sulcus into a tunnel through which various structure passes, and those structures are tendon of long head of biceps brachii. Tendon of long head of biceps brachii plus synovial sheath and plus ascending branch of the anterior circumflex humeral artery. There are 3 content of this bicipital groove. Okay. Now coming to neck. There are 3 neck of humerus. It is well known for its 3 neck. That is the anatomical neck, surgical neck and the morphological neck. In medical science, we study anatomy first. So there is anatomical neck at uppermost level. And then comes surgical neck. What is anatomical neck? the head is separated by rest of the bone. Here, this is the anatomical neck, where head is separated with rest of the bone. And surgical neck, where the upper end is separated with the shaft. This area is the surgical neck. And in between these two necks, there is morphological neck, which is dome shaped. The boundary of morphological neck is dome shaped, and it is only visible in coronal section. Okay, coronal section, if we done the coronal section of this bone, then only we can see the morphological neck, in between the anatomical and the surgical neck. And the convexity of that morphological neck faces upward. Okay. Now, coming to shaft. Shaft has got 3 border and 3 surfaces. Here is the anterior border. This is lateral border. And here is the medial border. The surfaces are anterolateral surface, anteromedial surface, and the posterior surface. First, coming to anterior border. In its lower half, there is attachment of brachialis muscle. Now coming to lateral border. In its lower part, the lateral border, lower part become very prominent and known as lateral supracondylar ridge, in which there is attachment of lateral intermuscular septum. And over the lateral intermuscular septum, upper 2/3 give attachment to brachioradialis muscle, and lower 1/3 give attachment to extensor carpi radialis longus muscle. Upper 2/3 brachioradialis, lower 1/3 extensor carpi radialis longus muscle. Now coming to medial border. It is again prominent in its lower part and known as it is on the medial aspect, so medial supracondylar ridge. And there is attachment of medial intermuscular septum over there. Okay? And at its lower part, on the medial intermuscular septum, there is attachment of pronator teres muscle. Pronator teres muscle. Now coming to surfaces. One thing more about the medial border. In the middle 2.5 centimeter of the medial border, there is attachment of coracobrachialis muscle. Very important. Because at this level only many veins are occurring, which I will discuss in the viva section. So, on the medial border, middle 2.5 centimeter, there is attachment of coracobrachialis muscle. Now coming to surfaces. Anterolateral surface. There is one tuberosity on the anterolateral surface. This is known as deltoid tuberosity, in which there is attachment of deltoid muscle. Below that, this surface is occupied by the attachment of brachialis muscle. Over the deltoid tuberosity, there is deltoid muscle, and below that there is brachialis, same as that of anterior border. Now coming to anteromedial surface. Again, in its lower part, there is attachment of brachialis muscle. So brachialis muscle is attached on the anterolateral surface as well as the anterior border and the anteromedial surface as well. Now coming to posterior surface. Posterior surface is very important due to the presence of one groove. Here is the groove. This is known as radial groove or a spiral groove. This one is the groove. It is not only present on the posterior surface, it also extends over the anterolateral surface by taking a spiral course. That's why radial groove is also known as a spiral groove. Because not only present on the posterior surface, it is also present on the anterolateral surface. The content of the radial groove is radial nerve and the profunda brachii artery. Very important, content of radial groove is radial nerve and the profunda brachii artery. Here also there are two lip of the radial groove on the posterior surface. Not very significant, but there is. Okay, so this lip, what I have said, this groove has got two lip. Upper lip, this one is on the lateral aspect. So this is lateral lip. And this one is on the medial aspect. So medial lip. On the lateral lip, there is attachment of lateral head of triceps muscle. On the extensor aspect of our arm has got flexor aspect and the extensor aspect. On the extensor aspect, there is only one muscle, triceps. As its name itself says, there are three heads: lateral head, medial head, and the long head of triceps. Lateral lip give attachment to lateral head of triceps in a linear fashion. एक लाइन में होता है, ऐसा फैला हुआ नहीं अटैचमेंट है, सिर्फ एक लाइन में है, in a linear fashion on the lateral lip of the radial groove. And on the medial lip and whole of the posterior surface below that, there is attachment of medial head of triceps. Lateral head only linear fashion. Where is the medial head? On the medial lip as well as whole of the posterior surface below it. There is attachment of medial head of triceps. And now it is coming on the anterolateral surface like this. And now this lip becomes superior and the inferior lip. On the superior lip, there is attachment of deltoid muscle, and on the inferior lip, there is attachment of brachialis muscle. Okay? So, this is like the whole of the boundary of the radial groove is defined. Now, coming to lower end. Lower end has got articular area and the non-articular area. Articular area means it forms a joint. So, this is trochlea. Pulley-shaped structure on the lower end is known as trochlea. And this round structure at the lower end is known as capitulum. These two are articular area. This trochlea articulates with the trochlear notch of ulna to form the humero-ulnar part of the elbow joint. Humero-ulnar part of the elbow joint, which is a hinge variety of synovial joint. And this capitulum articulates with the head of radius to form the humero-radial part of the elbow joint, which is a ball and socket variety of synovial joint. Okay? So, these are two articular area because they are taking part in the formation of joint. And the non-articular area of lower end is the fossa just above the trochlea. This is known as coronoid fossa. It is occupied by the coronoid process during full flexion of arm and forearm. Okay, full flexion or at the elbow joint. ठीक है, full flexion of elbow joint. This coronoid fossa is occupied by the coronoid process of ulna. This is coronoid process. And here we can see it is occupied during full flexion of the elbow joint. Okay, clear? The fossa, not so much significant, but there is a fossa over the capitulum. This is known as radial fossa, and it is occupied by the head of radius during full flexion of the elbow joint. Here we can see very clearly that this fossa, radial fossa, is occupied by the head of radius during full flexion of the elbow joint. On the posterior aspect, there is a big fossa above the trochlea. This is known as olecranon fossa, and it is occupied by the olecranon process. This is olecranon process of ulna, and this is coronoid process. So, olecranon process, it is occupied by the olecranon process during full extension of the elbow joint. This is flexion and this is extension. So, olecranon fossa is occupied by the olecranon process of ulna during full extension of the elbow joint. Another non-articular area is on the medial side, this is medial epicondyle. And on the lateral side, this is lateral epicondyle. These two are also comes in the non-articular area, that not taking part in the formation of a joint. So what is the significance of that? So this medial epicondyle, it has got one tip, and the anterior surface and the posterior surface. Tip give attachment to medial collateral ligament, as it is on the medial side. So medial collateral ligament or ulnar collateral ligament. On the anterior surface, over the medial epicondyle, there is attachment of common flexor origin of superficial group of forearm muscle. Forearm में जो muscles होते हैं, forearm muscle, it has got superficial group and the deep group. Only the superficial group has a common origin over the anterior surface of medial epicondyle. And how will you memorize? M.F. Hussain. That is medial epicondyle and the common flexor origin. M.F. Hussain. M.F. Medial epicondyle, common flexor origin. Always asked in the exam. Very important. And on the posterior aspect of the medial epicondyle, there is not attachment, there is relation of ulnar nerve. Okay? Relation of ulnar nerve. Very important. It get thickened in case of leprosy. In leprosy patient, it get thickened. And the doctors used to palpate the ulnar nerve, thickness of ulnar nerve at this site only. Very important. Now, coming to lateral epicondyle. Again, it has got one tip, anterior surface and the posterior surface. Over the tip, there is, as it is the lateral side, so lateral collateral ligament or radial collateral ligament. And on the anterior surface, there is attachment of common extensor origin. Here the extensor. On the medial side, there is flexor. But on the lateral side, there is attachment of common extensor origin of superficial group of extensor muscles of the forearm. फोरआर्म के एक्सटेंसर मसल का सुपरफिशियल ग्रुप का कॉमन एक्सटेंसर ओरिजिन है. एंड हाउ वी कैन मेमोराइज? ब्रूस ली, LE, दैट इज द लैटरल एक्सटेंसर. ओके, M.F. Hussain हो गया मीडियल एंड फ्लेक्सर ओरिजिन. ब्रूस ली, दैट इज LE, lateral and extensor origin, common extensor origin. And on the posterior aspect, posterior surface of the lateral epicondyle, there is attachment of unconeus muscle as well as the supinator. Okay, so this is all about the humerus bone.